You're 10 minutes late already. Breakfast's up in 20.
There you go. It's really starting to happen.
Oh, more wedding guests than you can shake a stick at.
And it'll be a pleasure to have you all along.
Long way. Someone's finally getting hitched, I see.
You bet. Spliced for life.
How can you be sure that this one's a keeper?
Because I'm older and a whole lot wiser now.
Famous last words.
Oh, honestly, you've no sense of romance. She's coming in like a Cheshire cat.
All bets off?
Oh, I wouldn't count on it.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's my first patient sorted.
Oh, what we got?
Soph? Come on, it's 1:15. Sophie! You've a tough one today. You're going to get a proper breakfast.
Well, everything seems to have got off to a smooth start.
I'll believe it when I see it, when she's in a posh frock and she's gliding down the aisle.
Good morning, everyone. Now, don't you worry, Bitty Bees. I know I'm a bit early.
You're 45 minutes early, to be precise.
Oh, he knew that without even looking.
Dr. Elliot really enjoys your visits.
Does he? Oh, I know he does. Oh, Doctor, I have bought you some freshly baked muffins. They're barely half an hour old.
I've already eaten, I'm afraid.
Oh, some lovely young lady cooked you up a morning feast fit for a king.
Well, no.
Or some lovely young chap, then.
No.
Oh, well, go on, then. Have just a little bite. They're very small and very, very sweet.
All the staff will be delighted, Mrs. Lonsdale. It's ever so kind of you.
Oh, well, then I'll let you get on with it, Busy Bees. Mrs. Gatley is due here at 9:10. Now, she prides herself on always being on time. I've never been half a second late in my whole life. She dashed into the church to try and get a better seat than her poor dead husband, she did. We'll show her, though, won't we?
You can't take a driving test on an empty stomach. And don't forget that. Won't be provisional for long. You're 15 minutes. Sophie, what are you playing at?
I think I'm going to be sick.
Your small sweet muffins are going cold.
Never, never, ever eat anything that a patient has specially made for you.
What?
Mrs. Lonsdale.
What did I tell you, dear? Not only is he gallant and attractive, but he's got wonderful diction. Yes, Doctor?
This way, please.
Of course.
This had better not be any of the same old palaver.
No, Dad.
I'll need a sight more convincing than that.
I made you a promise. I made Mum a promise. Do you really think I'd go back on my word?
Well, what am I to think?
Just don't think the worst of me, as always.
Where's this come from?
You're always trying to control me.
Now, that's just not true.
Oh, no.
I'll clear it up.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, love. Come on. How much did you have to drink last night?
Not enough to feel like this.
Well, it could be food poisoning. Did you eat anything out last night?
No, just grabbed some toast at work, that was all. Dad, I know what you're thinking, but I haven't taken anything in 2 years. Not since... Mum.
Well, you tell me you haven't and I believe you. But you can see where I'm coming from. The moment there's the slightest bit of pressure...
And who's put the pressure on now?
What do you mean?
All the pushing and fussing you've been doing about this driving test. Badgering the driving school for the earliest possible date. Whose fault is that?
I thought that's what you wanted. Get your licence before you join the fire service.
Hardly had time to think about it, did I?
You've been taking lessons for ages.
I'm not ready.
You are?
And I'm not so sure about the fire service anymore.
Sophie?
Can I have a drink of water?
You should tidy your room up more often.
There should be one. It's Thursday. I've got Mark's test results. Can you pass them on when you see him? Thanks.
Oh, no, you give them to him.
Oh, come on, please.
Look, you're going to have to get over this. You're going to have to talk to him at some time or another.
Do you take the best of care now, Mrs. Lonsdale?
Oh, I will, Doctor, I will. I mean, I wouldn't want to get poorly, would I? Otherwise, I'd miss our Friday mornings.
And what will we be in for next week, Mrs. Lonsdale? After all, there's only so many things that can go wrong with a lady's bits and bobs.
I'll think of something. I mean, he's far too great an attraction not to visit at least once a week. Mrs. Gatley, now, here he is. He's going to be very gentle with you because he is a real gentleman.
Gentleman? If he's a gentleman, then I'm a... Miss Bell?
Mrs. Gatley?
Do you want to come through?
Please.
Think you could manage a bit of toast? Sophie, about before.
Dad.
You told me over 6 months ago that you definitely wanted to give the fire service a try.
I can't remember that far back.
And I remember thinking it was a brilliant idea. But it wasn't my idea, it was your idea. And you seemed really excited about it.
I was weighing up some options, that's all. Anything to get me out the TA.
I thought you loved the TA.
Being a part-time squaddie isn't much fun for a girl.
But you look forward to it every weekend.
Anything to get me out of the house. I don't like to be under your feet.
You're never here. You're either at the nursery all day or...
In the army. We never talked about it, is what I mean.
You just upped and joined the TA, nothing to do with me.
I mean the fire service. The slightest mention of me joining up and off you go. Rounding up all the books and stuff. Laying down a timetable to coach me for the written exam.
You'll pass, I know you will. And already being able to drive, we thought might give you a bit of an advantage. Oh, you're getting worse. I'm calling the doctor.
I'll miss my driving test.
I'll cancel the wretched thing. And I'll tell him you're not interested if that's the way you feel.
How am I ever to know how I really feel with you pushing me all the time?
I will not have you think that I've ever forced you into anything.
Cancel it then. Cancel it for good. And you can forget about the fire service too.
If that's what you want.
I don't care.
She's never had a thing wrong with her in her life. Apart from the usual kid stuff, of course. And she's very fit. She's in the territorials. And she's not hungover or anything. My girl can hold her beer.
So how much have you had to drink?
Some, but not a lot. 3 or 4 pints.
And what about other recreational substances?
No.
No.
No, she doesn't do that. She's clean. In fact, she'd have been taking her driving test right about now. I had to cancel it.
Any vomiting? Well, you're probably dehydrated. Could you bring us some water, please?
Yes, of course.
So you've had past experience of...
Recreational substances. Yes. But not anymore.
Since when?
Not for a couple of years. Honestly. I used to pop a couple of uppers now and again, just to get through exams and stuff.
Kate's made up about coming back to work.
She is, yeah.
But still you've a shadow of a doubt?
Well, Kieran's so tiny, isn't he? Doesn't seem right, him stuck in a nursery and Kate stuck here, nearly a mile away.
Half a mile.
Half a mile, well.
And he's not going to prison. Creches are lively, stimulating places. They're positive and proactive environments. Anyway, put yourself in Kate's shoes.
I have, actually.
Kate working again will bolster her self-esteem and her self-image.
I know all that.
A woman's work is part of her identity. Defines who she is.
Jude, I've read all the parenting manuals, thank you very much. Read all the pamphlets. I'm very happy for her. Having her cake and eating it.
You must have felt nervous about your driving test.
A little bit. Hadn't had time to think about it, really. They rang last night with a cancellation. Dad said yes for me and told me when I got home.
Is that what you wanted?
Well, I would have liked a bit more notice. Had I known, I wouldn't have gone out drinking. I'd never go back to the pills.
You sound very sure.
I am.
Is it just you and your dad here?
Yeah. Mum died 2 years ago. It was lung cancer.
I see. Well, that's not very long ago. It still can't be easy.
It isn't. We just sort of got on with our lives. But sometimes Dad'll remember something Mum once said or did. He doesn't say anything to me, but I know what he's thinking. He'll just go off on one.
What do you mean?
He'll get all paranoid about me leaving the house or crossing the road. Keeps thinking I'm going to get run over or something. Stupid stuff. Drives me mad.
Well, it seems like after losing his wife, he's terrified of losing his little girl. Do you talk to him much about your mum?
Never. I think he blames me a bit for some of Mum's suffering. What with the pills and stuff. She worried herself to death. I caused her a lot of worry in those last months.
Your mum's dying was nobody's fault.
He blames himself too, I'm sure. Being in the army, he was never there for her. Not until the very end. He retired early to look after her. He was a Royal Engineer.
Is that why you joined the TA?
I thought it was something Dad would approve of. And he did. It meant I was in safe hands at the weekend. Like the TA could save me from being struck by lightning.
Or taking recreational substances. Did you seek any counselling when your mum died? There are some very good bereavement counselling programmes available today.
It was 2 years ago.
It doesn't matter how long ago it was. Traumatic things happen to people, things that we're just not equipped to deal with, and it takes time, lots of it, to realise that.
It's an option, I suppose.
It's an option that's always open if you need it. And I can point you in the right direction, of course, and your dad.
Now the ball's properly rolling, we'll have to celebrate.
You bet.
Excellent idea.
Are you up for it?
Up for what?
The leather bar tonight.
Oh, who's going?
Oh, anyone. Everyone bring who you like.
Oh, I can't. I'm booked up.
Oh, not another hot date.
Well, no. Meet me mum after work.
It may be a 24-hour virus.
How long will it last?
Dad.
And you've been to the loo a lot, so I'd like to take a urine sample. I want to be sure you don't have a bladder infection.
Okay.
You need to keep well hydrated, so plenty of fluids.
Let me. Thank you, Doctor.
I'll wait downstairs. And Sophie, if you change your mind, give me a call.
Maybe.
So what are you and your mum up to tonight?
Oh, the usual. Racing fast cars along the Autobahn, sipping fine champagne on the Riviera.
So, supermarket shopping then?
Yeah, you got it. I could wangle a rain check, though, but it'd depend.
On what?
You know, on who's going.
On who's going? On who's going?
There you go.
Thank you. Keep her comfortable and hydrated, see if she can eat something, and let's see how she is tomorrow.
Righto. I've never seen her so poorly. Makes you feel so helpless.
It does.
She's never sick. When she was very little, it was always her mum who used to see to it.
I can understand how difficult it must be without your wife. Sophie told me.
She talked to you? Sophie means the world to me.
And you want very much to protect her from it.
She told you that too?
Well, daughters can find it hard to distinguish between protection and control. You should talk to her.
What does that mean?
She's been thinking about her mum too.
Thank you.
Well then,
Well, what?
is he or isn't he going?
Who?
Mark.
Oh, but how should I know? Look, all this faffing about's beneath you. You're so much bigger than all this. All right, I'll find out for you.
Thank you. Do you want me to sort that out for you?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, what is it?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
It's very pale.
What?
It's almost like water.
Sometimes you remind me so much of your mum.
Really? You've never told me that.
Could it be water?
I don't know why she'd do something like that.
Maybe she's trying to hide something.
Possibly. She was desperate to tell me she'd stopped taking drugs.
Oh, but surely she'd know that we'd find out. Unless she has drunk a lot of water.
For a sample to be this clear, she'd have had to have drunk litres and litres.
Yeah, well, a friend of mine, well, a friend of a friend, once smoked a joint one night, and we roped him into giving blood the next day. And he thought that he could flush the drugs out of his system by drinking loads and loads of water. Kept wanting to dash to the loo during the transfusion. We almost had to tie him down.
Is everything okay?
That's the answer to our problem. You drank 5 or 6 big bottles. That's 8 or 10 litres in, what, 5 hours?
I suppose so.
Diabetes. People who have diabetes get really thirsty.
I think I've got a better explanation. When you went out last night, you didn't know you'd be taking your driving test this morning.
So?
So, though Sophie didn't drink enough to get a hangover, I bet you were worried you'd still have alcohol left in your system before taking the test at, what, 11 o'clock?
I didn't want to be over the legal limit.
I don't understand.
Sophie thought she'd be able to flush the alcohol out of her system, but it doesn't work like that. Alcohol needs to be properly, steadily metabolised, just like everything else we put into our bodies. The thing is, it's possible to put too much water into our systems as well, and that can give us water intoxication.
I've never even heard of it.
Well, it's quite rare, because it's very hard to drink so much water in so short a space of time. But 10 litres in 5 hours should do the trick. Too much water is retained in the brain. It can make you disorientated, incoherent, delirious even, with sickness, headaches, all the symptoms you've been experiencing.
Oh, no.
What can we do?
Well, you need to go to hospital.
Hospital?
There's no need to worry. Sophie's fluid and electrolyte imbalance will have to be corrected. She'll be in hospital for a day or two.
I feel such an idiot.
No, it's my fault. I should never have accepted that cancellation without asking you first.
Mark, what are you up to tonight?
Battling my way to the top of the league.
What?
Got a squash court booked.
Oh, right. Oh, well, have a good game.
If I'd joined the fire service, I would have had to work shifts. 4 days on, 4 days off.
Oh, no.
I would have been in your way for days at a time.
You'd never be in my way.
Dad.
We never spend any time together at all. We live in the same house, but we're never in it at the same time. And you don't like to talk to me, because I don't like to talk to you.
This is something we've got to talk about. You cancelled the test?
Yes.
You told them I didn't want to take it at all?
I told them that you would ring in your own good time and tell them yourself what you wanted to do.
Why?
Why what?
Why didn't you cancel it for good?
Because when you were a very little girl, you told me very confidentially that when you grew up, you wanted to drive a fire engine.
Dad.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, one day your prince will come.
You said he wasn't coming.
We must have changed his mind. I'm sorry. But worse things happen, don't they? I thought you were supposed to be scrummaging your way to the top of the league.
One conquest at a time.
I need a drink.
Yeah, good on you, girl.
What's all that about?
Save it for later, you two. You don't want another drink, do you?
Yes.
Excuse me.
And Katrina's sweepstake goes to the dogs?
Oh, you think so, do you?
There'll be a steward's inquiry about this.
Oh, look at them. They're lovely together.
Never know how things are going to turn out, do you? Hey, who are we to judge? Who are we to make predictions?
I'll give it 6 months.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's all fancy romance now, but 3 months along the line, she'll have caught him clipping his nose hair once too often.
And?
And what?
Oh, 2 large red wines, please. 2 lagers and a scotch. Thank you. What are you drinking?
Why can't I get it?
So, husband number 3. What have you got that I haven't?
Oh, beats me. You can't be short of admirers.
Oh, you're kidding. It's a wilderness out there. You have snaffled the last of an already very rare breed.
Ah, that's not what I heard. You've gotten very good at fending them off, I believe. You must have had a proposal or two.
Yeah, but not those sort of proposals.
Oh, champagne, perfect. Here we go. Okay. Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me, everyone. To make the noise. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank Helen for giving Pete and I that extra little push when we needed it most.
Good call. Nice one.
If it wasn't for Helen, Pete and I would both still be fighting in the playground.
Definitely.
So thank you, Helen.
Yeah, well done. Brilliant. And can I just make my own toast to a very, very special lady? To Helen.
That was terrible.
Oh.
That was really bad. Sit down. It was not funny.
Please tell me another joke.
Well,
Tell us another joke.
I don't.
You are.
You have to go to the loo. too. I'll see you in a minute.
Goodie. Yep.
Here, wait up.
I have to be honest, I was a bit sceptical about you and Pete to begin with. But now seeing you both together, well, you both look so happy. I'm really pleased for you.
Thanks. That means a lot. I can tell the others have had their doubts too, but not had the courage to say it to my face.
Come, don't mind them. They're young and foolish and single. What would they know about true love?
Come on.
JC.
I'll catch up with you in a minute. Can you take this one?
Okay.
What are you doing here?
Jude, here you go.
No, thanks.
Oh, what about your lovely friend? Hiya. Hiya.
I don't know what you're up to or what you're doing. And to be honest, I don't care. But wherever you've come from or whatever it is you're up to, you just stay away from me, do you hear me? You stay away.